Today, we'll explore one of LEGO's most ambitious and creative themes that was unfortunately discontinued. LEGO Legends of Chima was initially meant to slowly replace Ninjago, but Chima itself was phased out after only a few years, while Ninjago is still around to this day, 11 years and counting. So, what happened? First released back in 2013, Legends of Chima was designed as a play-oriented line to launch on multiple platforms, including many LEGO sets, video games, and even an animated TV series. The story of this theme was centered on two childhood friends, Laval from the Lion tribe and Krager from the Crocodile tribe. These two became bitter enemies who led their own side of different tribes from the land of Chima to fight over control of the energy source known as Chi. LEGO released sets such as this mech, which also reminds me of Mech Arena, today's sponsor. Mech Arena is the perfect game for those who enjoy bursts of intense action. I can play matches by myself or with friends and get into the action immediately. In addition to equipping your mech with super cool attachments like these, you can now get Neymar Jr. in-game. If you're looking for a powerful mech pilot and a damage boost for both of your weapons, Neymar Jr. is your guy. And for a limited time, you can get Neymar Jr. for free by playing Mech Arena on 7 different days between now and December 18th. I know I will definitely be playing to get him. Neymar Jr. is the strongest mech pilot right now, so you won't want to miss your chance to obtain this superstar. You can also equip his Sprinter perk, which will increase your mech's speed by 40%, so you can whip around the arena and totally annihilate the other team. Best of all, Mech Arena is free to play on both mobile and PC, and you can use my link or this QR code to get a free starter pack worth $15, which includes an amateur crate, 300 coins, and a Pulse Cannon 4 to kickstart your game. You can also find me in-game at SpitBrix and add me as a friend. Thanks to Mech Arena for sponsoring this video. Now, let's talk about the LEGO theme that fans both loved and hated, Legends of Chima. Although this theme wouldn't last for long, it would give us some of the most thematic sets that LEGO has ever made, including one of the largest LEGO sets ever released. But it all started with the first wave of sets back in 2013. In the first year of its release, LEGO went all in on Chima, launching a total of 7 sets to start things off. These sets immediately set the tone and pace for the entire theme, and each of the main characters was given their own unique vehicle set. Looking at these initial sets, it's so obvious what LEGO was going for here. Each main character represents a different animal tribe, and their vehicles represent this. LEGO designer Samuel Johnson, who worked on Chima, said, quote, "We make features and try to fit them in with animals and what the animals do. If a vehicle doesn't have the traits of the animal it's meant to resemble, it doesn't make a lot of sense." And this attitude really cemented the design philosophy of LEGO Chima throughout its run. These initial sets were generally well received, and nearly all featured multiple minifigures. These were some of the most ambitious minifigure designs that LEGO had ever come out with. Each of the 8 tribes had a unique new mold for their heads, and featured some very cool accessories. The biggest set from this initial wave was Krager's command ship, a massive crocodile-shaped ship that really floats on water. Including 6 minifigures like this set-exclusive Crueler minifigure, it featured multiple detachable vehicle sub-builds, several flick-fire missiles, and an articulated tail. Over the rest of this year, LEGO released several more sets, including the now legendary Lion Chi Temple. This absolute beast of a set came with around 1,200 pieces, included 7 amazing minifigures, and would remain as one of the largest sets produced for this line. This set actually sold out across the country for most of the 2013 holiday shopping season, and even today, finding a complete set can be tricky, or at least expensive. Now, 2013 would also see the launch of 2 more lines of Chima sets, Speed Ores and Ultra Builds. Legends of Chima Speed Ore sets were designed to be a more interactive or competitive angle to the series. Based on the Ninjago Spinner's success, these brick-built vehicles were powered by plastic ripcords that launched them forward. Speed Ores were more than just LEGO sets, though. These little guys sold for $15 a pop, and each set came with an actual vehicle, a minifigure with accessories, and a small obstacle or game to play with the Speed Ore. Also included in each package was a handful of cards that were needed to play the game. Basically, the Speed Ores game required at least 2 sets to compete against each other in a series of challenges based on the obstacles included in those sets. For example, the Ring of Fire set requires players to launch their Speed Ores through the flaming ring, and the Jungle Gates makes you steer through a series of obstacles. Any combination of Speedor sets could be used to make some very unique and creative challenges. The winner of each of these challenges got to draw a card from their deck and choose which of the 4 stats to use in combat that round. These games were generally a lot faster than the Ninjago spinners, but still had the great combination of LEGO and card play. There was actually another Chima Speedors game, but it was a mobile, free-to-play kart racer that featured all the same sets and characters, as well as some iconic locations from the cartoon series. This game was pretty basic, but it's fondly remembered by fans of the theme. The concept of LEGO Ultra Builds first launched in 2012 with a wave of DC and Marvel characters. Apparently, these were successful enough at the time for LEGO to make a Chima flagship line of these Technic-based sets. The summer of 2013 saw the release of the first 6 Ultra Builds for Chima, and showcased several of the main tribes and characters. The really neat thing about these sets is that they were designed to be combined with each other. LEGO actually released several instructions for combiner models. These would take 2 sets, such as Chi Laval and Chi Eris, and combine them into a single gigantic model. Much like Speedors, these were sold for around $15 each at launch, and each came with about 50 to 60 pieces. Much like every other line of LEGO constructible figures, some fans really liked these and others really did not, but there were plenty of other sets to go around if you weren't a fan of these. Now, of course, I can't talk about Chima without mentioning the cartoon series. Premiering on Cartoon Network in January of 2013, The Legends of Chima took place in a fictional world of the same name. The plot of the first season revolves around the conflict between childhood friends Laval and Krager. Everything is going fine until Krager's sister tricks him into betraying his friend and starting a war against the Lion tribe, trying to take over the entire kingdom. The first season actually ran for 20 episodes and wrapped up in December with the 2 former pals ultimately reuniting and peace being restored to the land. Now that brings us to 2014, the second year of LEGO Chima. 2014 saw the continued release of sets, Speedors, and Ultra Builds that massively expanded the theme's offerings. The sets from this second year were similar to the first in that they almost entirely featured vehicles based around each tribe's animal. Overall, these sets were a bit larger than the first wave and featured more unique parts. This wave also included my personal favorite from the Chima series, Mala's Ice Mammoth Stomper. The colors, the construction, everything was just great about this set, and it was a lot of fun. Most of these sets featured either vehicles that were detachable from the main build, like this helicopter from the Mammoth Stomper, or the vehicle itself changes form, like Laval's Fire Lion. 2014 also had another very large Chima set in it, the Flying Phoenix Fire Temple with 1,301 pieces. While this set may have only been slightly larger than the Lion Chi Temple from the prior year, it was far more intricate. This set included the Phoenix Flyer, a set of defensive walls, and an attacking tank sub-build. Each part of this set has something to hide, and it's amazing. For starters, the Phoenix Flyer does more than just zoom or through the skies launching fireballs. With a press of a button, the entire set transforms into a heavily defended fire temple. Now, one of my favorite things about this set, though, is probably the ice tank build. Like many of the other 2014 sets, it has its own small detachable vehicle, and that detachable vehicle also transforms. The attention to detail on every level of this design is simply fantastic, and you can say that a lot about most of Chima's sets. Over 2014, LEGO also released several new Speedor sets, although most of them were largely the same as what we saw in the prior year. They did expand upon the previous wave by offering more complicated challenges and a few very unique Speedor's attachments, such as this one with spider legs. The summer of 2014 also saw a new line of Ultra Builds, 7 new sets showcasing a few new characters as well as combiner model instructions, but these would be the last Ultra Builds ever released for Chima. However, also at this time, 2014 would see Seasons 2 and 3 of Legends of Chima released on Cartoon Network to coincide with the release of the second and third waves. Season 2 followed the now reunited heroes of Chima as they searched for the 8 Legend Beasts. Speaking of which, in the world of Chima, Legend Beasts were ancient creatures of Chima who chose not to drink chi, leaving them pure. LEGO released a series of 5 Legend Beast sets to tie in with the second season that was released on Cartoon Network. Each of these sets came with about 100 pieces and sold for just $10, which was a pretty good deal. Although we never got all 8 Legend Beasts, these sets do make for a nice collection. In January 2015, LEGO released the last batch of Chima sets. These largely followed in the footsteps of Wave 2 and showcased how far LEGO set design had come over the past few years. King Crominus' Rescue was a slightly scaled down but just as impressive counter to the Flying Phoenix Fire Temple, and Bladvik's Rumble Bear is perhaps one of the most menacing LEGO sets I've ever seen. This final wave also included a series of battle packs based on 4 of the various tribes. These included 4 minifigures, several accessories, and a small build each. They were very popular among fans. Although this marked the end for new Chima sets that LEGO would release, they weren't completely done with it yet. You see, in the summer of 2015, LEGO announced a contest to build a Chima fortress and submit your design online. The winners would be awarded the largest LEGO set ever released in a single box at the time, in which it still is one of the largest LEGO sets. This box contains 25 of the most impressive Chima sets that were produced. Officially, only 2 of these boxed sets were ever produced, so it's extremely rare, though it's speculated that the LEGO Vault also has one in hiding. Of the 2 sets that were sent out, one winner photographed themselves opening and building the sets, while the other has kept it sealed. So obviously we know that Chima was discontinued after 2015. So what happened? Why did LEGO pull the plug after 3 years and over 100 sets? Was Chima not successful? Well, although LEGO has never given us a definitive answer, there are a few strong theories. You see, many people loved the storyline, but Chima had a hard time reinventing itself year over year. There's only so many animal vehicles that you can build. Set designs got repetitive and did not sell as well as LEGO hoped, and sales numbers in 2014 and 2015 were significantly less than LEGO had hoped for. Why? Well, perhaps it was because that Ninjago was never cancelled. The 2 themes had sets on shelves at the same time and directly competed with each other for customers. In fact, many Ninjago fans strongly disliked Chima, thinking that LEGO was trying to use it to cannibalize Ninjago, in which, well, at first they kinda were, but that didn't quite go as planned. When Chima released, Ninjago fans were already invested in their own theme and the storyline of the ninja, so they weren't necessarily interested in converting over. The demand for Ninjago sets overpowered Chima, resulting in the survival of the Ninjago line while Chima was discontinued. Did you ever buy any Chima sets? Comment your favorite below, and leave a like if you want to see Chima return.